All right, what's up? Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we're going to do a first look at the 2023 football season for Glory Days Pro Football. This set I've currently got starting on my 8th team, so close to a quarter of the way through. So the 2023 season should be released by or shortly after the Super Bowl. So look for that in addition to the all-time great set that comes with the base game. So it's actually going to be one of the first test games. And one thing I'm going to look at, I picked these two teams for a reason. The Jets, because they have arguably, well, not arguably, they had the most unprolific offense in the league last season. And Baltimore, very good offense, which will be a good matchup for the Jets defense, which is also among the top, especially against the pass. And overall, a pretty good Ravens defense as well, especially against the pass for them. In fact, Ravens and Jets are two of the three teams that got maximum trench control stars in pass defense here. So the reason I want to use the Jets is in the college version of the game, you could have, for the offense and defensive ratings, you could have a disparity as big as plus 11 or minus 11. Obviously, the top elite teams that had the talent factor figured into the ratings could get as high as a 12 on their drive offense and drive defense, whereas the dregs of the NCAA world could be as low as a 1 offense or defense. So in the NFL, obviously, there's not going to be that much of a talent disparity. For the season sets, the highest drive ratings will be 10. And at this point, the lowest is 4, which the Jets have currently. They're one of a couple of teams with a 4. Off the top of my head, I believe New England might be the other. It's either New England or Washington, but I digress. So what I want to look at here and what I'll be looking at in testing is that I have no doubt that it's enough of a disparity range because you can see against the Ravens defense, the Jets will roll off the -6 row here on the drive chart, which means they need basically 51 to 82 to have a successful drive, which is roughly 30%, a little over 30%. They also could have roll in the drive kill and potential fumble and interception and possibly have a successful drive out of those columns as well. But the bulk of it will come either from the big play column or the successful drive column. And basically, by this rating, they're going to have to punt just a shade over 50% of the time. So I really want to see, I know I do not think I need or want to go any lower than 4. Basically, what I'll be looking at in testing is 4 too low. Do I want to bump the minimum for NFL teams up to a 5? Because again, between good and bad teams, I mean, the Jets beat a couple of playoff teams in Houston and Buffalo. So on any given Sunday, and that might just be up to the rolls of the dice, or I might have to tweak the ratings, I feel pretty good about what I decided to go with for minimum of 4. So we'll kind of see how this plays out now and in other games during the testing period. All right, so Baltimore, again, very dynamic, very good offense. They're as good as you get at run and pass. And of course, Lamar Jackson, one of the most dynamic players. Well, easily the most dynamic, and by that I mean in terms of dual threat capabilities, QB, since Michael Vick, quite honestly. So it'll be interesting, and we're going to get this started. There will be 5 drives, and I'm not using the optional scorekeeping or timing system, which I've introduced in another video. This is strictly the base, which is the drives per game. So there will be 5 drives in each of the first 3 quarters and 6 in the fourth and final quarter. So let's get into it here as Baltimore. They won the toss, and they want to come right out and see if they can take it to the New York Jets and get off to a big lead. So kickoff for the Jets is a B. That's going to be a touchback. And Baltimore starts on their own 25. Now, their offense, 9. The Jets' drive defense, this is another thing that's interesting about them. They allowed drives to get into plus territory, and then they kind of stiffened up there, which, will go into correlate to the play-by-play mode. And even in quick play, the second portion of the drive in plus territory is a 16 rating. So if we were playing quick play rating, they would have a +1 advantage over Baltimore on that second portion of the drive, which kind of equals out how the scoring chances and scoring went against them. The Jets gave up 30 points or more 5 times, scored 30 points or more just 3. So for our base, though, drive offense is 9, drive defense is 7, so it will be a +2. Ravens need 30 or better. They're not going to get it on their first drive. And 10, this is going to be a 5-play, 6-play, 20-yard drive. So they get up to the 45, 4th down, and they're going to have to punt from there. So Jets defense doing their part, at least early in this one. And I apologize for my voice. I am getting over a mild case of the flu. All right, punting, so my throat's a little scratchy. A for Baltimore, and punt return C for the Jets. 7A on the punt, that is going to be a 45-yarder, so that's all the way down to the 10-yard line. And 5 on the return is going to be no return, so Zach Wilson. The other thing, I didn't roll for the quarterbacks. Obviously, Huntley played in one game because they were resting Jackson for the playoffs. Wilson, and I want to point this out. I want to point 2 things out with the quarterbacks here on the screen too. So the Jets also started, oh my God, Nick didn't last too long, guy. Tim Boyle. And so he started 2 games, Simeon 3, and Wilson the rest. Space constraints, it's going to be down to just 2 quarterbacks per team. And Cleveland, and we'll do a test game with them later, as an example, had 5 quarterbacks that started games during the 2023 season. And I had to whittle that down basically to just Deshaun Watson and Joe Flacco and make a couple of minor tweaks to compensate for the very poor performance of P.J. Walker when he was in, and also Dorian Thompson-Robinson as well. So that's how that's going to work. And then the other thing I want to point out, if Huntley had started, you see the 9% next to his name. So basically what that means, and there's a few teams that this is going to apply to in the game. Huntley is, I don't know why this is here. Gosh, all right. Huntley basically had a 9% lower completion percentage than Jackson. And again, it's a 1-game sample. But these numbers here you use when you're keeping stats in hybrid mode or quick play mode to determine what the base QB completion percentage is for a game. If you rolled a 4 for Jackson, it would be 68. If you rolled a 4 for Huntley, you minus 9%, so 59%. And again, you'll see that on a few teams, so I wanted to point that out on this video as well. All right, that out of the way, it's Wilson and Jackson dueling in this one. So the Jets, again, they come out a -6. So they need 51 or better, and 81. That might even be a big play, Zach Wilson. That is going to be a big play. So 8 on the roll there. And again, when you roll a big play on the drive chart, you take it off the second down column. So 8 is going to be a big play to Dalvin Cook, of all people. So Cook is an L. And the big play charts are the only things I do not have up on the screen here. I'm keeping them off to the side. All right, so Dalvin Cook an L and a roll of 8 on the big play chart, and that is going to be a D20 plus 10. So 10-yard base and 14, that's a 24-yard scamper. That's up to the 34-yard line, and I'm glad this came up. What happens here? Well, if you do not get out of your own territory on a big play, you will roll on the drive chart again. So basically, this would have been nice if the Jets had started on the 30, starting from the 10, not so much. They got to find some magic again. 46, not this time, and they are going to be stopped. They're going to get 11 more yards on 4 plays. So they get up to their own 45, and time to punt for the Jets as Wilson and co. cannot build on the momentum of Dalvin Cook's big run. All right, Jets punting the ball. They are an A. A lot of NFL teams are an A in punting, and those ratings are based on average yards per kick, and obviously you have better punters in the NFL, so you'll see a lot more A ratings there than you did in the college game. Punt return for Baltimore, also an A. All right, so 2A, that is going to be a 45-yard punt, so that comes down at the 10-yard line. And 2A on the return, that is going to be a fair catch. So New York is able to flip the field back on Baltimore as this is the third drive of the first quarter. And again, Lamar Jackson, they need only a 30 or better, and they get stuffed again. So the dice gods, I forgot to mention traits for these two teams too. And we'll actually roll to see if they apply after we resolve this. So they are stopped, and a 5 on the drive chart. That is going to be only 3 plays and 5 yards. So the Jet defense putting the clamps on Lamar Jackson and co. early. So Baltimore, they have the close the deal trait, which comes into effect if it is a close game late, and we'll roll for that. They get it. Baltimore has the ATC trait, and what that means is on third down, you will take 1 off the completion range on a defensive trench control win, and they get that as well. All right, so let's resolve the punt now, and Baltimore on their second possession, stopped by the Jets. 0, that is going to be a booming 58-yard punt. That's going to help flip the field, so 73 total or net down to the 27. And 8C on the return, that's going to be a 6-yard return up to the 33. So still decent field position for the Jets as they start their second drive of the game. Zach Wilson looking to create some magic. 51, and they barely get a successful drive. And obviously it's very early, but I'm thinking I'm pretty comfortable with the way I did the range I reduced for drive ratings for the pro version of the game. So Zach Wilson, what a shocker this would be, the Jets, if they jumped off to a lead. So going from the 33-yard line, that is going to be 6 plays, 52 yards, and an automatic first down, which is what the plus means on the drive chart. So 85, that's down to the 15-yard line, 1st and 10 from there as we finally get into play-by-play mode. And you can see in play by the Jets actually, surprisingly, run at a lesser percentage than I thought just by watching some of their games. But yeah, they're only a 37% run team. So first down, pretty sure they will be calling a run here, and they do, handing the ball to Breece Hall, who is an H. Trench control is going to be 1 star, and for the Ravens, it's going to be 1 star. So we have a stalemate. And that would have been, if Jets had won that 9 would have been a good result. But coming off the stalemate chart, not so much. Cook is an H, and that is going to be a run for 3 yards. If defense had won trench control, it would have been a fumble. Possible fumble, I should say. So 2nd down and 7. And let's see if the Jets are just going to do Jet things, which means they're going to stall and have to attempt a field goal. Second down, this is going to be a pass play intended for Michael Carter. And trench control rolls there. Again, 1 star. And for the Ravens in their very good pass defense, 2 stars. 4 is going to be incomplete. And Jets are very much jetting it right now. 3rd and 7 from the 12. Looking to peter out in the red zone, but still opportunity to take the lead. All right, so 3rd down there, a roll of 6. And that is going to be pass intended for Garrett Wilson. Who else? And again, Ravens are expecting this. So add 1 to the trench control roll for the offense, which makes that no stars. And that saved the day for the Ravens, who have 1 star. So another defensive win. And 7. And 7 here. Now, this is one of the interesting results. So blue is a potential sack. However, if this is not a sack, it's going to be a complete pass. And that's how you play these. Blue, of course, is potential sack. Purple, potential interception. So you see here on a 7, if it's not a sack, it's complete. And on an 8 or a 9, if it's not a sack or pick, it is incomplete. So Zach Wilson has a chance to evade the rush here. And we'll use that 4, of course, for Garrett Wilson if he does not get sacked. Sack range for the Jets, though, is 1 to 14, and Baltimore is a +3. 18, and Wilson somehow gets out of trouble. It was 18 to 20 to avoid the sack, and he's going to complete it to Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson, of course, is an L. So 4L, and the Jets, could they be on their way to an upset? That's a 9-yard gain. That's good enough for a 1st down. 1st and goal at the 3. Wow. So if you tuned in expecting an early blowout, not going to happen yet. Of course, we still have a lot of time to go as it's 1st down. And 6, that is going to be a run to Breece Hall and possible penalty. So 4s is going to be a defensive trench control win. So 0 on the stalemate hashtag defensive win chart. Or slash, I should say, hashtag. H, that's going to be 3 yards. That's going to be enough to get into the end zone for a touchdown, believe it or not, for the Jets, if there is no penalty. Jets, of course, like many other things, did not do penalties well. 1 to 11, and that's coming back. Touchdown run for Breece Hall is negated, and Jets doing Jet things. 5 is going to be a false start. Backs it up to the 8. 1st and goal from there. The dice are very much in tune with these two teams because this has definitely been another possible penalty. It's going to be another run to Hall. And 3 is again going to be another defensive trench control win. And 3H, that is going to be 5 yards. So that will get that penalty yardage back if the Jets aren't gigged again. And they are. Stellar. It's going to be another false start, so maybe something wrong with Wilson's count. Now it's 1st and goal from the 13, and when we're behind the sticks, remember we go to the 3rd and 6+ column for the play call, and there is no adjustment for defense been ready. Another possible penalty. My goodness, it's going to be a win for the defense again on the trench control. And 9, and it's going to be a possible pick. Wow. First of all, 14, the pass is intended for Conklin. So 17 or less, let's see. I'm sorry, on the pick, it's 1 to 12 for the Jets. Defense is +3. So 15 or less. And Zach Wilson, it is not picked off, but it falls incomplete. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 13. All right, 20, and Jets are going to put this in the air, and again to Michael Carter out of the backfield. It's going to be another defensive trench control win, and this is a sack, incomplete if not. 17 or less, and that is going to be a sack of Zach Wilson. Unbelievable how the Jets are living up to the real-life version of them so far. It's going to make it 3rd and goal from the 20. Not many 3rd and goal plays for 20 yards out. Defense expecting the pass this time, of course. And that's going to be no stars and 1 star, another defensive win, and 4 is going to be a pass intended for Garrett Wilson again. So defensive win, but a 2 on the black die. That's going to be favorable for the Jets. That is a completed pass, and 0 is a big play. Unbelievable. So you'll see. It's been a very entertaining 4th drive of the game for New York here. All right, so L, and you see the 0 there, big play. And again, I've got the big play charts offline. All right, let's see what Garrett Wilson can do. That is a 7, and that's going to be a D20 plus 30. That's going to be a touchdown. So Zach Wilson, penalties, a sack, and on 3rd and goal from the 20, he threads the needle between 2 defenders for a touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson. Unbelievable for the Jets. Kick is up and good, and they are off to a 7-0 lead over Baltimore, which nobody saw coming in this. So last drive of the first quarter comes a kickoff, and that's going to be a touchback again. One thing you will find in the 2023 season, a lot more touchbacks than the college game, and also the all-time great set as well. All right, so here we go. Let's see if Lamar Jackson can engineer a drive against this Jets defense, which has been tough so far. Again, 30 or more gets it done. And 91, that's not going to be good. 91 is going to be a potential fumble. Wow, so here we go. 5 on the roll for the yardage, going to be 8 plays, 51 yards. So 76, that is down to the 24-yard line. And we're going to roll for the fumble there. The Jets, no adjustment to fumble ratings. Ravens are 1-10. Ball is on the ground, and Ravens recover, so they'll jump into play-by-play mode at the 24-yard line, looking to tie this game up on the last drive of the first quarter. All right, Jackson brings the team up. First down, it's going to be a run call to Hill, and Baltimore 50-50 balanced run pass. So expect a greater percentage of runs on first down with them. And 3, it's going to be a trench control of 2 stars and 2 stars. So we've got a stalemate there, and again, the run goes to Hill, who is rated an G. All right, so 3G on the stalemate, and that is going to be a 4-yard gain, 2nd down and 6 from the 20. Playbook open to Jackson, and 3, that is going to be another run, and this one is going to Edwards. Trench control, 2 stars and 1 star, so a defensive or an offensive win, I'm sorry. And 7I on the win for the offense. That is going to be a 3-yard gain. So that's going to make it 3rd and 3 from the 17-yard line. Jackson brings the team up, and a 3. I think it's going to be another run to Edwards. They're going to try and run for it. 2 stars on defense, 2 stars on offense. We have a stalemate, 3I. And that is going to be a 6-yard gain. So first down, missed tackle in the hole. 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line for Baltimore. Jackson is yet to try a pass in play-by-play mode. This is going to be another handoff, this time to Hill again. And trench control is going to be 2 stars to 1. This is a defensive win, and it goes off the defensive rating. Let me pause on this too, because I've had questions about this. So when the defense wins trench control, you look at the black D10 and see where that falls. So 0 to 6, you see here, it goes to the J column on the defensive win over here. And if it is 7 to 9 in this case, it would go to the stuff chart and the B column on the stuff chart. So that's how that works. And the Jets, neither team actually is extremely good against the run. Jets a little better than Ravens, of course, though. All right, so that's going to be a 5 on the defense wins chart, and that probably is still going to be a good play. Yeah, that's a 6-yard gain. So that's going to be down to the 6-yard line, 5-yard line, 2nd down and 4 from there. So Baltimore looks like they are on the verge of tying this bad boy up, and 17, and it's going to be a pass intended for Odell Beckham Jr. And 2-star, stalemate 8, and stalemate 8 is going to be an incompletion. So 3rd and 4 from the 5. Playbook open to Lamar Jackson, and that is going to be, Jackson's going to give it, he hasn't called his own number yet, he's given that to Hill. It's going to be an offensive trench control win. So Hill looks to pop one off tackle, and G3, that is going to be a 5-yard run, and that's going to be enough for a touchdown, and Baltimore has marched back down the field to tie this up. Kick is good, and first quarter comes to a close. It is Baltimore 7 and New York 7. So Jets, Jets, get ready for the kickoff return to start the second quarter. That's going to be a touchback, so they'll take over from their own 25. And again, -6, 51 or better. And not this time. They finally get stopped and forced to punt. All right, 13. And that's going to be actually second time they punted. 3 plays, 6 yards. Offense stalls at the 31-yard line, and punt team trots onto the field. Again, A's for both. So 3A, that is going to be a 42-yard punt. And 9A, that's going to be a big play cover. So we will resolve the punt first of all. So punt comes down at the 27-yard line. And again, I have the big play charts offline. So big play cover and A. Their A rating helps Baltimore. They're still going to manage 5 yards on that. So in position, can't make the tackle. And they're going to take over on their own 29. Let's see if Jackson keeps that momentum going. 66, that's a good drive. So 17, perhaps the Jets defense going into a little bit of a funk here after that paltry effort by the offense, saying this is business as usual. It's going to be 4 plays, 34 yards. So that will go to the Jets 37, and 7 is going to be a 1st and 10 from there. Play-by-play mode for Baltimore. Still looking for Jackson to get a carry, and 10. He's going to give it to Hill again. Just the dice are just missing him on the play calls here. And that is going to be stalemate. So 6G on the run call, and that is going to be a gain of 3 yards, second down and 7 from the 34-yard line of the Jets. Jackson gets a play call, and 14 on second down. That is going to be a pass intended for Andrews, looking for his tight end. And trench control roll, not good though. It's going to be a defensive trench control win, a roll of 4, and that's going to be incomplete. Third down and 7 for the Ravens. Jets expecting the pass, and it's going to be another defensive trench control win, as this time the pass is intended for Aguilar. And roll of 2, and both quarterbacks have done this now, threading the needle, and Aguilar and L. Wow. L7, that is going to be only a 5-yard gain though, so it's still going to be short, 4th and 2. They have a very good field goal kicker. This is a 47-yarder. And that 0 to 91, they're going to go for it. Justin Tucker on, kick is up, and it is good. And Ravens grab the lead for the first time in this one. We're halfway through the second quarter. It is Baltimore 10, New York Jets 7. Baltimore set to kick it off, and 9. That's going to come down at the 5-yard line. 0 on the return is going to be a big play. So the Jets' kickoff return is a B. There's some juicy results here. 4, and that is going to be a 40-yard return. So Zach Wilson and co. Good field position at their own 45. Let's see if they can string a drive together. And again, 51 or more, and no, they're going to get stopped again. It's going to be 5 plays, 14 yards, so they get down to the Baltimore 41. And they want to go for it here. The 2D6 is going to make it a roll of 9, going to be a down and distance situation for them of 4th and 6. And kicking, this would be a 58-yarder, and that is, it's actually a makeable kick. So 55 is the max. This is 3 yards over, so you'll take 3 from the range to make it. So 0 to 52. I'm going to give it a shot. 58-yard field goal attempt. 0 to 52. It's good. Kick is down, and that last roll misses wide right, and Baltimore going to take over at their own 41-yard line, and that would have been something to make that and possibly go into halftime. One more drive left in the second quarter after this. The Jets get it. So yeah, with a tied game or a lead. 93 on the drive roll. And that is going to be a possible interception. So Ravens have not had great luck there. 2 on the interception yards. That's 4 plays, 35 yards. So this will either be their ball in plus territory, or the Jets will create a turnover. 6, and that's down to the 24-yard line. All right, Lamar Jackson. Intercept 1 to 7, but the Jets are a +5. Their ball hawking secondary, very good, 12 or less. And it's picked! It is picked off. So the Jets defense, like they did all season, keeping the team in games, comes up big. And rolling for the interception return. 5, and that's going to be -5. So trying to create something and losing ground back to the 19-yard line. But last drive of the first half, Jets only down 10 to 7 to Baltimore, and a little bit of a surprise. Let's see if Zach Wilson has a little bit of magic in him still. And 97, well, I don't know if that's magic. That's going to be a possible interception for them, meaning the Jets. All right, 9 on the interception yardage column, and that is going to be 3 plays, 7 yards, and they have to kick if it is not picked. So at the 26-yard line, yikes. All right, Ravens are a +3 and 1 to 12, so 15 or less it's picked off, and it is picked off. So Zach Wilson struggling again. Let's see what we get on the interception return as teams trade interception. That's going to be 0 yards. And there, the way we play this, this technically would be the last drive of the first half. But we're going to say Baltimore has time to kick a field goal, which you're not going to see this run all the way down to 0. You know, there's usually going to be a few seconds left. So from the 26-yard line, this would be a 43-yard field goal. 0 to 91, kick is up, and it is good. So Baltimore capitalizes on the Zach Wilson interception right before halftime, and they lead the Jets going into the second half, 13 to 7. Still a much closer game than many expected. Jets going to get the second half kickoff, touchback, and see if Zach Wilson can shake that first half ending off. 84 actually potential drive kill. So first time this has come up. It's come up in other videos, but in this game. So this is how this works. You take the normal drive yardage. So this is a successful drive, basically. So from the 25, roll of 20. It's going to be 3 plays, 38 yards, automatic first down, unless they roll a penalty. And again, the Jets are 1 to 11, and they dodge a bullet this time. No defensive penalty either. So that is going to be a successful drive for the Jets, and they'll jump into play-by-play mode. So 55, 63 down to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Jets there. So let's see if Zach Wilson can engineer a drive in play-by-play mode and get his team back into the lead. Remember, the Jets led 7 to 0 in this one. All right, so first play, 1st and 10, it is going to be a run to Dalvin Cook, who's getting a surprising amount of touches in this one. 2 stars, 2 stars, stalemate, and Cook and L. Cook and L, that is going to be a gain of 4 yards for Dalvin. So down to the 33, 2nd down and 6. Wilson. Hands over his ear holes as he gets the play call in from the bench. And roll of 8, this is going to be intended for his go-to guy, Garrett Wilson, once again. And 3, it's going to be 1 star against 2 stars, a defensive win, and that's going to be incomplete, 3rd down and 6. Okay, and 3rd down and 6, roll of 6, again intended for Garrett Wilson. And it's actually going to be an offensive trench control win, believe it or not. So on that, it's going to be a 9 will be complete unless Wilson is sacked. So let's see if he can find a little magic again. Again, sack rating 1 to 17. Doesn't look good for the Jets, and down goes Wilson again. 8-yard loss. Wow. Back to the 41-yard line, and it's going to be 4th and forever, and the punt team comes on once again. So a promising start to the second half promptly goes up in smoke as the Jets are jetting here. Actually, 41. This will be another 58-yard field goal attempt. 0 to 52, why not? Kick is up, and it is 55! Bounces off the crossbar and comes back onto the field. But wait, a potential penalty. 17, just missed a defensive penalty, so another long missed field goal, and that would have two missed field goals, and we would have had a tied game. Of course, 258-yarders, so still, the Jets have had their chances, and they're doing what they did a lot in the regular season, self-destructing. All right, and defense is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, though, and shut the Ravens down. 5 plays, 12 yards. So that's down to the 47. That is definitely out of field goal range for Tucker, and Baltimore's going to have to punt now. 6A, that's going to be a 40-yarder, so that comes down at the 7-yard line, and 0 on the return. And they're going to get a big play on the punt return. They field this, unbelievably. And the Jets punt return of C. Let's see what we got. And 3, that is going to be a 19-yard punt return. There was a touchdown result on a 9 there, which the Jets did have a punt return for a touchdown this season. So that gets it up to the 20, and Jets halfway through the third quarter, 13-7, Baltimore in the lead. Jets defense is doing their best to keep this team in the game, but Zach Wilson is not, as it's going to be another punt. 7 plays, 22 yards on this one. And the crowd here at MetLife Stadium is not happy at all, as 8A, that's only going to be a 39-yard punt. That comes down at the 19-yard line, 7A on the return, and that's going to be a fair catch there. So Baltimore takes over on their own 19. Third quarter has this drive and one more, and then we head to the fourth. 66, that is going to be a successful drive for the Ravens as they finally are looking to put a little bit of space between them and the Jets. That's going to be an 8-play, 60-yard drive. And down and distance situation, it's going to be 1st and 10. All right, so all the way down, 8 plays to the New York 20, and I'd have to think against the Jets, a 2-touchdown lead is pretty much insurmountable. Lamar Jackson brings his team up. And Edwards is going to be the ball carrier here. It'll be 1-star versus 2-star defensive win for going to the defensive defensive column, which again, their defensive rating, meaning the Jets, is a J. All right, J1, and that's going to be a 1-yard gain, 2nd down and 9 from the 19. Good play by Mosley filling the hole on that. And 3, it's going to be another handoff to Edwards, and it's going to be 1-star, no stars in offensive win. So Edwards 2I, I keep looking down for the charts and on a computer screen in front of me. My goodness. It's going to be a 4-yard gain. Going to make it 3rd down and 5 for the Ravens. See if that Jets defense can hold up again. Playbook is open to Lamar Jackson, 14. And that's going to be a pass intended for Aguilar. 4 is going to be 2 stars and 2 stars. So we have the 9 result here on the stalemate. And that is going to be a potential sack. And if it's not a sack, it will be incomplete. Lamar Jackson with the Jets adjustment, it's 12 or less for the sack. And can they get to him? They do. And Salah dials up the pressure. And that's going to be a loss of 6 yards. So a big play for the Jets defense. They're going to force another field goal. This will be a 38-yarder. That's money in the bank for Justin Tucker. As 0-97, kick is up and good, and Baltimore extends their lead to 16-7. Jets, final drive of the third quarter, set to receive the kickoff. Jets defense has played well in this game, as you would expect, really. 6A, that's going to be a touchback. Hold on. No, Baltimore is a B. 6B is going to be down to the goal line. And 4B on the return. Wow, it's going to be a 36-yard return on the kickoff. So Jets up to their own 36, and another decent starting position for Zach Wilson and company. But apart from one drive that was aided by a very fluky play, they've been stymied in this game, as you would expect. This time, though, they're going to get a successful drive with a roll of 73 and 14. So from the 36-yard line, that's going to be 3 plays, 22 yards, automatic first down. So that's down to the 42-yard line, 1st and 10 for Zach Wilson and company there. Let's see if they take the reins off Zach here. First down pass going to be intended for Ruckert, actually. And that's going to be 1 star. 5 for the Ravens is 2 stars, though. That's still going to be a Baltimore win. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. 16. This time Zach is dialing it up for Conklin, looking for his tight end down the seam. And that last, oh man, a stalemate again, and 8 on the stalemate. That's going to be incomplete, 3rd and 10. See if Zach Wilson can pull another rabbit out of his hat here. Expecting it, and this is going to be a defensive win. It's going to be incomplete. Possible penalty, though. But we know how that has gone for the Jets. That's a penalty on the Jets. And 2, that is going to be a false start. Should be a 59-yard field goal, so 0 to 42. They're going to decline the penalty, and the Jets are going to try another long field goal. So 0 to 42. 59, they missed their 3rd field goal of the game. 3rd quarter comes to an end. It is 16 to 7. Baltimore in the lead, and they take over on their own 42 as we start the 4th quarter. Jets defense, though, is still hanging around, and they're going to force a punt or a kick, 6 play, 20 yards. It's down to the 38, unfortunately for the Jets. Oops, 38. That is still within field goal range. So when you get the kick result, again, that doesn't mean you punt. If you're close enough to try a field goal, you can try a field goal. And this would be a 55-yarder. Justin Tucker here is only 0 to 19, and they're going to bring on the punt team and pin the Jets deep. Stuff New York should have been doing earlier. Coffin corner, meaning this is coming from the E punt column because it's on the 38-yard line, and roll of 2 on the punt. 36, that comes down at the 2. That's beautiful. 6 on the return. 6C, and making a mistake, fielding that on a bounce, but getting tackled at the 4. So Jets will take over there on their first drive of the 4th quarter. See if Zach Wilson has a little more magic in him. 88. Well, we have a potential, no, not a drive kill, potential fumble. So 20 on the fumble yard, that's 3 plays, 8 yards, and of course a kick if they don't turn it over. The New York fumbles are terrible. 18 or less, it is lost. It's lost. Imagine that. So Baltimore recovers a New York turnover. Zach Wilson strip sacked or stripped on the scramble. And 1st and 10 right into play-by-play mode from the 12. And the Jets are, offense is folding for the entire team in this one. So 6 on 1st down. And finally, Lamar Jackson's going to pull this on the read option and keep it himself. However, it's going to be a defensive win on the trench control Roll of 6. Almost got the stuff. Lamar Jackson with a rating of E is pretty good even when it is a stuff result. So 7E, that is going to be a 6-yard gain. Jackson making things happen with his legs. 2nd and 4 from the 6. Brings the team up to the line of scrimmage, and 17, that's going to be a pass intended for Odell Beckham. And this is going to be a defense or an offensive trench control win. 4, that's complete. 0 to Beckham. That's going to be a big play, so that is a touchdown. So officially a 6-play or a 6-yard touchdown strike and kick 90. Wow, cut that close. He squeezed it in, though. It is good. So finally, Baltimore pulling away 23-7 in the 4th quarter. And remember, at one point, the Jets led this 7-0. They just were not able to sustain anything since that point. Here comes a kickoff, and that's down to the goal line. And kickoff return B, roll of 1, and that is the bad result. It's going to be only up to the 12-yard line, so no special teams magic there. 2 drives left in the game after this one, so basically the Jets have to score here and have to score again to get into a close late situation. And traits have not, Baltimore's trait will not come into play. Jets' trait hasn't come into play yet, but it still could. All right, so here we go. On the 56, so they're going to have a successful drive. So Zach Wilson, maybe now with the pressure off with a huge deficit. And 9 inside the 20, that's going to be 6 plays, 40 yards. So just into Baltimore territory and down and distance situation. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from there. All right, 2nd and 8 from the Ravens 48. Wilson trying to keep his team in the game, and 20. This is going to be a pass intended for Michael Carter coming out of the backfield. It's going to be a, defensive win again. 3, though. 3 is good enough to be complete, so Carter's going to make the catch on the little swing route, and S. 4S on that catch is going to be stellar -1 yard gain. So 3rd and 9. Again, the Jets continue to jet. 3rd and 9 from the 49. Here we go. Wilson. Well, this is potentially good. So it's going to be a defensive trench control win, but a roll of 2. That's going to be complete, and this one is intended for wanted to get this to Garrett. Instead, it's going to Breece Hall out of the backfield. That might not be enough to pick up the 1st down, as Hall is a P. And 2P on the reception. That is going to be a 6-yard gain. So that's going to make it 4th and 3 from the 43-yard line of Baltimore, and they've got to go for it here. Again, we use the 3rd down column for this. So 4th down and 3, and the Jets, if they want any glimmer of hope to come back in this game, they've got to make it happen now. So 4th and 3, 12. That's going to be a pass, and that'll be intended for Hall again out of the backfield. Can Zach Wilson get magic again? 2 stars, stalemate. 4. Yes, it is complete. Zach Wilson able to complete this pass to Hall. 3P, however, and that is going to be a 5-yard gain. Picks up the 1st down, so the Jets down to the 37, 1st and 10. Clutch play by Wilson and Hall there. 1st and 10 and 12. This is going to be a pass intended for Garrett Wilson. And 2 stars, stalemate, incomplete. 2nd down and 10. 15 on second down, pass intended for Conklin. And it's going to be another defensive win. Roll of 6 is again incomplete. 3rd and 10. Expecting the pass now. That changes that 3 into a 4. It is another defensive win. 14. This time the pass is intended for Conklin again, actually. So 8 on the defensive win, and that is going to be an incompletion unless Wilson is sacked. And that has happened multiple times today. 17 or less, and down he goes again. Yowza. Only a 3-yard loss this time, and that's going to make it 4th and 13. Looking at the odds here, I think Salah, well, they've got to go for it. They really do. Actually, he's going to punt. I think he's going to concede here. They're going for the coffin corner as well. So 3 on the punt, and that'll be a 34-yarder down to the 6-yard line, and 1A on the return. That's going to be a 5-yard return to the 11. And Baltimore. One drive for the Jets after this, but Baltimore can just salt this away. But they're going to get stopped again. So the Jets defense really played their butts off. The offense did them 0 favors in this game. It's actually going to be 3 plays at negative 2d6. Wow. So that's going to be 5 yards back to the 7, and Baltimore will have to punt, and the Jets will get one more drive to at least maintain a little bit of dignity about them in this one. 4A, wow, that is a booming 64-yard punt. Baltimore's kicking game has been on point today. So 71, that's all the way down to the Jets' 29-yard line, flipping the field again, and on the punt return 2C. No return from there. So last drive of the game, Baltimore up 23-7. Let's see if Zach Wilson can, nope, and they're going to get stuffed, and that's going to be 3 plays, negative 1d6, and that's minus 5 yards. That is your ball game. So that brings it to a close, and the Baltimore Ravens, 23-7 victory over the Jets. Went as you might expect, or as I actually went as I hoped it would go. The Jets had some opportunities, and like they did in the regular season, penalties, sacks, turnovers. They did have a successful scoring drive to take a 7-0 lead, but their defense kept them in the game like they did a lot during the regular season, really all the way up until that last touchdown, which followed a Zach Wilson fumble deep in New York territory. So I'd say overall, I'm pretty happy. Again, a lot more testing, but thus far I'm very happy with the way it came out with the drive offense ratings. And again, I capped those a minimum of 4 for NFL because the talent disparity is not as great as in college. But yeah, I think at this point that looks pretty good. More testing to come, but really went as you might expect. Again, the Jets defense playing tough, offense not doing them favors, and Baltimore, in the end, just too many weapons. They get the 23-7 win, and that's going to do it here from MetLife Stadium. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Hope you enjoyed this. If you do, hit the like button, and as I mentioned to start the video, I've got about 7 teams of the 2023 season rated. I can get through, if I don't get sidetracked, a couple a day. So we're looking at this season been done and ready for release by or shortly after the Super Bowl. And then I'll be actually working on a vintage season, and I'll ask for feedback on that later. But looking for something, say, from 1970 forward for a vintage season. And again, we'll go really with polls there, which is what I do a lot for fighters too. And if it works, I think it's a good choice, we'll go with that. Because I want to give the people who are kind enough to support this game basically as much as I can in terms of what they want. So thanks for watching. Hope you all have a good night. Anthony Bleacher Bums Gaming. We'll see you. Peace out.